Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. Bookmark Amove TV for other great video games and esports podcasts. Into the Nexus is sponsored by listeners like you via patreon.com/ITN. Okay, let's see here. I've got my earbuds. All right, earbuds check. I've got my Horde and Alliance coaster. All right, packing that away. Pants. Can't forget pants this year. Oh, hello, everyone. I didn't see you there. It's time for another Into the Nexus, the one before BlizzCon 2017. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and I remembered to pack my pants this year. Kyle Fergusson is joining me as always. Welcome back, sir.
It's good to be back, man. Nice job on that. I believed.
Thanks. Thanks. I'm glad you did. I was just sitting here. I was like, what do I have on my desk that I can do this bit that I thought of within 20 seconds of the intro starting?
It's time. It's time again. It's BlizzCon. It's the last episode before it. We got all the esports kind of pre-set up ahead of time now. It is single elimination tournament, too, for all the drama that's bringing. But either way, it's here. It's set. It's happening whether you want it to or not. And we're being there. And I certainly want to be there.
Yeah. And I don't want to talk about the drama, but I will. Here's my thought. I would like double elimination at this point. Please and thank you.
I feel, since we're just diving right into it, that I am extremely excited. If I was a participant, I would be very upset because the chance to learn about my opponents and then strike back at someone, getting to see them fall, and also join the losers bracket, then battling my way up, is a great opportunity.
Oh, it's almost
However,
like...
we look at some world sports, they don't even bother. Big sports don't even bother doing a loser's bracket.
Oh,
and
I like
the
big
storyline at BlizzCon will be dramatic for it.
It will be, but I'd still prefer it. And I don't like big sports, so I don't care what they do. But, yeah. I don't know. I really try not to get super old man on my lawn, like, about everything about esports, because it's been for us here in the US for the most part 5-6 years if you got on board with StarCraft 2 like you and I did. So I'm like, well, back in my day they played a bunch of games off stream and you never got to see them unless somebody leaked them to a StarCraft replay site, and even then it wasn't shoutcasted unless Husky or HD picked it up. And I was fine with that, and I'm pretty sure I'd be just fine with it here too. It's okay if we don't see all the games. It's okay. I get it. It's a scheduling issue. I don't know everything. I am aware of this, but I certainly look at this and think to myself, it sure seems like we're making concessions about the integrity of the competition and to bend to the whim of a program manager that wants to hit a time.
I'm sitting here like, I know, right? Isn't it great?
Pretty much.
That's because that's what it comes down to. Honestly, it's happening whether we want it to or not. It's sad for the players. But let's go ahead and be fans here for a moment. This means cheeses are extremely important and impactful rather than tactics to perhaps ride out an otherwise boring bracket for someone who is already going to progress. So I think our NA teams have a great chance of winning because they could pull those things, and when they win for good. However, when you actually look at the brackets, it's really kind of stacked against NA, and it's looking like we are being fed to the dogs before they run on for the greater tournament.
Yeah, no, I agree. But whatever the case is, I mean, you brought it up, and I was just like, well, I do have a thought on that, Kyle, so I thought I'd mention it here and now. But overall, I'm extremely excited for HGC at BlizzCon, probably to the detriment of me taking in any other panels. I'm still going to try and make it to panels, but I want to watch
some
them.
of them you're on, so you'll be making those panels.
Well, stop flattering me on my own show, sir. Yeah, I mean, that's happening as well. But overall, really excited. And we're going to talk about more of that news. So let's again remind everybody, all of the places, if you're coming to BlizzCon, folks, if you're coming to BlizzCon, there are many, many different ways where if you are fans of Into the Nexus, you can come hang out with not only us, but other fans of Into the Nexus and AMU podcasts in general. starting with this Thursday night. Which is going to be, what is it? I don't know, November 2nd? Yeah, November 2nd. My day is insane, folks. My calendar reading skills are terrible. But this Thursday, November 2nd, we are both going to be at Con Before the Storm, taking part in the World of Podcast panel happening there. I will be moderating the Hearthstone panel, and you are going to be on the Heroes of the Storm panel, which I believe Scott Johnson's moderating again this year.
True.
Yeah, that's honestly, dude, like the whole core crew is over there, plus you. I kind of want to be on that panel. I'm jealous.
Oh, it's gonna be a good panel.
Like we've got some star-studded mofos hitting the Hearthstone panel. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about the Insta memes of John Jagger and Bo Schwartz that I just want to. I don't know. I know I can sit in the room and watch it, but I'd rather be sitting shoulder to shoulder watching it.
Oh, but it's not just those guys, too. We got Jeff from Heroes Forge, Andrew from Gankbush, Nexus Trolls John, Ryan, TBK, is going to be on the panel as well. And that's all going down at 8:30 that night.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of other panels as well, which you can find out all of the details over conbeforethestorm.com. Also, for your Hearthstone fans out there, there will be a fireside gathering going on for the entire time. I believe it starts at 5 p.m. local time, and everything else at Con Before the Storm, to my knowledge, ends at midnight. But the fireside will be continuing until 2 in the morning. So we're gonna have some good times Thursday night. I may wuss out and go to sleep at midnight instead of continuing Hearthstone festivities because BlizzCon's the next day. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so that's going to be cool. And as I mentioned last week, I am going to be on the Living Blizzard panel. This is Saturday, November 4th, 10 a.m. local time on the Epic stage. This is also known as the community stage in level 2 of the North Hall. It's going to be me and a bunch of other Blizzard creators talking about how we got started doing what it is, what we do, and kind of, where we see it going in the future. So come on by. A lot of big names on this panel. And if nothing else, I would really like at least one person in the audience to be there because they're a fan of my shows and not everyone else on this panel who is a lot more successful than I.
Oh, you're among them, man. It's time to admit. It's time to own up. It's too late.
Oh, that's very kind of you, sir. But seriously, this is like I'm a fan of everyone on this panel, and it's kind of cool. So I'm freaking out is what I'm trying to say, Kyle.
Just ignore it. Just, get on the plane, pretend you're going somewhere else, walking BlizzCon, pretend you're just a fan. Oh, they invited me up on stage. How cool.
Yep. And of course, the big thing is yes, we are having the A-Move/Frog Pants meetup again this year. If you have come in years past, it is very important to note we are not doing it at the bowling alley this year. We have done it at the bowling alley every year now for about 5 years straight, or at least 5 BlizzCons straight. But this year, that is not happening. We are doing it at the Hilton. We are part of Con Before the Storm. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be on level 4 in the Palace Verdes room, starting at 9 p.m. local time, going until midnight, like everything else at Con Before the Storm. And we will actually be next door to the World of Podcast room, which is where all these panels are going down. So when you're done watching the panels that you like, come on over to the meetup, grab a drink, and let's all yell about the things that if we don't see, we're quitting games and uninstalling. Or just get hyped.
We can dream. Yeah. I'm not going to install, but I do have dreams this year.
We all have dreams. Did you not have dreams last year? The way you said that, it makes it seem like this is the first year ever in the history of BlizzCon that you, Kyle Fergusson, have something you're really hoping for.
Yeah, I feel like in the past I've just been ready to be wowed. And now we've sort of made our way through. We've seen the rhythm that they release heroes in. We saw sort of the end, I think, with Kel'Thuzad of the Dustin Browder heroes. And I feel like it's anyone's game to get inside the heads of the devs. Seriously. Like, they're going to be all signing stuff. They're all going to be hanging out. Some of them are working the pit, so if you go try out heroes while you're there, the employees around you are actual devs wanting to talk to you about the game while you're standing in line. And you can plant, like, inception seeds in there. So you got to be ready. You got to have your list handy so that you can get them excited about what you want and come 8 months later, get what you want inside the game.
Wow, you have such a less aggressive approach. I was just going to hand out like cardboard doomsaying signs that says remove the battleground rotation or die.
Yeah, delete Nova from the files, Chromie or bust. Yeah, you can try that, but instead I feel you'll get better results if you simply like fan out on them a little bit.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've had those experiences, although I never suggest, like, sometimes I never suggest anything helpful. I just fan out and move on, and probably am not memorable in that person's mind. 1 year it was Chris Siggety. It was literally like I was leaving. It was the final night. I had to get crack of dawn, and I'm leaving the Marriott, and I see Chris Siggety hanging out in the corner, and I've had a few adult beverages at this point. I'm sure Chris had as well, and I was just like, I just gotta talk to him. I just went over and I just like shouted gushing compliments at the man. He shouted gushing compliments back because everyone on the StarCraft team is like that. They're really excited to meet fans, and then I left.
Yeah, luckily there was a table between us, so I felt a bit more formalized in my gushing. But I did that to Dustin Browder last. Here's the dorm.
I meant
to say like useful things, but I just said keep tweeting, man.
Please keep tweeting. I miss Dustin Browder so much. Like, damn it, I miss.
Let it out, man. This is the right episode for that.
I miss it.
Maybe a little scared.
I want freaking my Dustin Browder, like, right. I could be wrong back. I don't have it on my soundboard anymore. That's how long it's been since we've had to use it, so I can't even conjure it up. But there was a man who knew how to interact with the community.
Yeah,
100%. He knew how to harness it for good, and he knew how to, like, weed the garden somehow. I don't get it. I don't know how he did it. I still look back on that like, if I could conduct myself on social media with an eighth of what Dustin Browder could do on a day-to-day basis, I would be in command of my world.
We should say for the 2.0 audience that joined us just this year in Heroes of the Storm, welcome. And Dustin Browder was the lead of the game, the director, for quite a period of time, particularly during this game's infancy, its alpha, its beta, and the times where the fans were most scared about it being bad. And he was a voice of reason in a world without patches, coming in and letting us know that things were going to be okay. And I think Alan DeBeery's done a great job too, but it's a lot more formalized now. They've figured out their video format, their tone to the audience of Heroes of the Storm, and it's not this wild west of like you actually have his ear, and you can tell like he knows how mad you are, and he's mad too, and he's gonna do something about this.
You're absolutely right. And don't get me wrong, it's good, and they've overwatched it significantly more. Like the Overwatch team, I feel like everyone else is trying to get in line to what the Overwatch team has kind of set forth as their community outreach, because Jeff Kaplan is doing a very good job and has been over there with the dev updates and whatnot. And it seems everyone over at Blizzard is doing more or less the same thing now. But there was something special about the way Team One did it when Browder was the head of the team. Like you said, it felt very one-to-one. Whether or not that was true, whether it was because he chose Twitter as his place to talk, and I actually like Twitter versus Reddit. I might be biased in that regard, but yeah, I don't know. There was something special about it.
Well, it was the team transforming itself from a box product mindset into this continuous content beast, and it was definitely from the outside we saw a really dramatic shift in their thought processes. I mean, every time they put something out, think of like the Braxis release. You could feel them still tinging the glasses in the background. Hooray, we did it! Everyone gets no time off? What's wrong? What did we do wrong? We've shipped the product.
What do you mean we're working on 3 heroes simultaneously in the background and it's already in the pipeline and there's nothing we can do about it? I want a day off to celebrate.
Right? And now by the time we got, this Kel'Thuzad event, it was very toned down. It was very like, here's your content, your porridge. And once it was over, it just kind of ended without any pomp and circumstance. And both the worlds are good. So we could also see another switch at BlizzCon this year, which would be exciting and scary too. What if we go Heroes is for fun, like Hearthstone did with its animation.
No.
You don't think?
That doesn't work.
Wouldn't Hearthstone superfans say that doesn't work for Hearthstone either before that thing aired?
Yeah, the difference is card games absolutely can be played for fun because at the end of the day, it's 1v1 and you're not harming anyone else's experience but your own if you take your fun too far and make a deck that will never win. Whereas Heroes, there are 4 other people who are impacted by the decisions that you make.
It does seem kind of insane to even do it for StarCraft. Data entry is for fun. It's not even like that's maybe even more questing in World of Warcraft. It's just hard work playing StarCraft and pressing all them buttons.
I mean, I think they already did that. They already did that by adding the brawls into Heroes of the Storm. Whether or not that's your cup of tea is your own jam. Particularly not really for me. I come to Heroes to join with 4 other people and murder.
I think you're right. And I think brawls have failed in that delivery of a break for us. They may have gotten other people involved in the game who otherwise wouldn't have played, but it's not something we're going to break from our many rotating maps to try out.
Well,
and so
all right.
I'm curious. Maybe they're going to roll out more PvE this year.
Okay, well, that's not what you asked, sir. You asked if I thought that the entire message this year was going to be Heroes is for fun. Damn it.
I think that's a way to get there, though, right? Like StarCraft did.
Yeah, fair. Well, did Star? I don't think StarCraft went that way. I think they just made a really compelling co-op. Like that's all they had to do. It was extremely compelling, and unlike anything you could already do in the game. In Brawl, we're still, for the most part, going in with 4 other random strangers and trying to kill each other with wacky rules. And I don't want to downplay it too much. I don't want to stomp on Brawl. I don't have an issue with Brawl. It's just not what I personally come to the game for. I think it's perfectly fine. I think they're doing really creative stuff over there. It's just not what I want to play when I come to Heroes.
Yeah. But like country music.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's fun. The problem is it's too easy to make up new words over words that they use so often.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're talking Alan Jackson, in which I just say, no, he's actually good, and I legitimately enjoy his music. But
I'm not ripping on country music, man. I think country music is a fascinating article of society, much like curling. Like, there's clearly people into curling. They do it every day, so like, let's not make fun of it. But at the same time, you kind of go, huh.
Again, you're setting me up on so many tensions, man. Because it's just, in short, I detest most country music with a burning passion, and if it comes on, it must be killed. As a matter of fact, it was a blacklist at our wedding. If someone requested country music, it did not get played. I hate it so much for the most part, but I have a soft spot for Alan Jackson. But bringing it back around after you've thrown a minefield of tangents in front of me.
Sorry.
No, you know me, man, and this is the episode before BlizzCon, and after this, I'm going to have to go pick out underwear to put in my suitcase, so my brain's in a billion different places. But my point is, had you asked me, Garrett, what do you think the chances of us seeing more PvE? Or if you said, what are the chances of us getting a different type of break from standard Heroes? I think it's pretty high. We have a lot of tweets later. Some folks are talking about things like, are we going to get tower defense? Something of that nature. I know StarCraft already has custom maps, but what if we get some custom maps for Heroes, which was technically a custom map in the first place, and a way to like promote the StarCraft arcade feature, which would really be funny for it to come all full circle. But I think Heroes, it's there. And it's been there for years now. It is its own game. It is its own title. I think Team One can get creative, add more ways to play this game into their game outside of Brawl.
I agree. And I think Brawl seems particularly mad and antiquated when you look at something like what happened today. Dota 2 released a huge patch for themselves, and they put out a sort of turbo mode where you can play the game faster than normal, and it gives bonus gold, and the towers are all weaker, and kind of turns it into a 20-minute, 25-minute Heroes of the Storm match. So people don't need it. We don't need a shorter version of what we already have. It's time to bring on the wacky. I want to fight bosses. I want to fight that thing Chromie turns into when she taunts. Make that thing move around for me. I want to kick its butt.
Yeah. And you know, if it's another way to unlock fun things like cosmetics, if you put a few skins or just skin tints behind walls. Like imagine just for fun, Kyle. Like all right, I'm coming out onto the stage. BlizzCon, welcome. We know you're all very excited about Heroes of Storm. We got some great stuff for you today. Let me start things off by taking you to Onyxia's lair. And it's not a new battleground. It's the actual Onyxia encounter, but in Heroes. And, you know, if you pop the whelp eggs, it's not just whelps that come out. It's Zerglings from StarCraft. It's Pachamaris from Overwatch. Like, they mix everything in because it is the Nexus. Pachamaris. Yeah, living Pachamari. Oh, that would be amazing. Like, actually, like, and they kind of horror them up a bit. Like, they have sharp teeth and they're coming at you trying to kill you. It's almost Halloween, everybody. Actually, by the time this is getting released, Halloween is already coming past. I'm not future-proofing this very well. But whatever the case is, yeah. I could totally see that. I'm just using Onyxia as an example, but any type of PvE encounter, boss fights is a great thing. Hell, give me a dungeon. Why not? Like, gated by doors or something. Like you do a whole dungeon, but maybe in 5 sections that you have to load through or something. But I think it could absolutely be done and would be a fun thing where there's not other people on the other side that I'm trying to kill. It's just me and some friends trying to best the computer outside of an AI game.
Something relaxing about that.
Yeah.
I worry about AI in the future. I wonder it'll get too frustrating.
What do you mean? Too good?
Well, like, yeah, where do we draw the line, right? About when you can curse at a computer rather than another human being. Like, Dark Souls deserves to be cursed at. People on the other side, I will not type to you some of the things I think, because you're another person. So, I mean, does my voice connect? Say, you're taking it too far, Kyle. Listen, Archlich is fine. They're doing okay.
Okay, so your concern is that at some point AI will get sophisticated enough to be offended by what you yell at it. I thought you were concerned about difficulty, and I'm like, Kyle, that's why difficulty sliders are a thing. So never mind. Sure, why not? I don't know. That's an interesting concern to have, Kyle.
And as you get more exposed online, it's actually kind of an interesting, complete side tangent here. But something I've been thinking about a lot recently is the power of critique and how great it is that we can find words to express actual feelings as to why we dislike something rather than just saying that's stupid, I hate it, because that's something you deal with, you know, as a member of Twitch every day. How can we evolve that to be actually a useful or interesting conversation? It can feel like today it's just too painful to say you hate anything. And that's not fair. We should all have passions. Nobody should always have to play Garrosh, even if they don't want to.
I agree. There's a whole conversation here about critiquing that I'd like to get into, but I will pocket it for now.
Hey, well, we'll twist it here. How about, think about the way you critique things, because that's the inception seed you're leaving in those devs' heads. Make it positive, give it a spin, and no point mentioning the negative stuff because they're scared anyway, and they know most of it.
It's very true. It's very true. I don't know. I find it hard sometimes to not talk about the negative, but I try and frame it in a way where I'm still trying to get an answer. Like I have talked to members of the Hearthstone team before and been like, updates are a little slow. Is it a construct of the engine? And I never get a straight answer, but I also don't see shock in their eyes when I ask that question.
Yeah.
So anyways, shall we talk some HGC, Kyle?
Let's do that.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Put me to the stage.
Click the play button, and let's get started.
So, obviously, we're recording this early because we're about to jump on planes and fly our butts to BlizzCon. Not a lot of news. Also, I don't expect there to be a lot of news, even if we did record this on Thursday before BlizzCon. Not going to be much to talk about. But HGC has wrapped up for this leg of the finals. All 4 groups have completed, and we now know our finalists, Kyle. We know our round of 8. And first off, I just want to say I was dead on in my picks last week. Yeah!
Congratulations.
I didn't actually go back and look at yours because I am an egotistical maniac, but
no, I mean, they were absolutely true. And even a lot of the things that I said I was excited for some people may have mistaken that I thought they'd be good games. More, I'm excited to see like what sort of smash hit a Tyrael sweeping into an NA meta could be.
Oh yeah, there were some horrendously one-sided games. Not even close. And as we mentioned last week, and I think it kind of held true, sometimes the obvious thing happens. And for the most part, the obvious thing across the board did happen. If you were one of the many everybody's saying, yeah, MVP Black and Ballistics are probably going to make it through undefeated, you'd be right, because they did. As for, and then the other folks, the other teams that were kind of up in the air, I mean, it did end up being up in the air. But at the end of the day, we knew it was going to be MVP Black, Fnatic, Dignitas, Ballistics. That 100% happened. And we were pretty sure about Tempo Storm as well, although it was looking for a moment there like Tempo Storm wasn't going to make it. Although, on our episode last week, we watched it unfold while we were recording, and they did indeed pay back that 2-0 favor that CE gave them at the beginning of Group A.
I love that it was a Lili too.
Yeah. I love that you thought it was a Li Ming, and you were just like, I can't. No, there's no way. There's no way it was a Li. Clearly it was a Li Ming.
I mean, across these groups, we've actually had a pretty decent representation, I'd say. 72% at the moment of the hero pool has been played.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not too bad. And pretty good representation for regions involved, especially if you're a North America fan. Woo! 3, Kyle. 3. And Kyle Fergusson, I have a question for you. How many South Korean teams?
How many?
How many? It's 2, Kyle.
Oh,
it's 2.
Oh, wow. NA got more than. How about that?
Yeah. How about that?
I guess we aren't. How about we aren't so lols? No, I feel like I can't even let this continue because people are going to have so many comments about why they are lolsy. But hey, they did it. They pulled it off, and their finals bracket is brutal. Well, you start the day with MVP Black going up against Team Freedom. I mean, basically every NA team is not fighting each other. They're up against a very hard road. Roll20 has to fight Ballistics to start it off.
I'm trying to think of what would feel worse. I'm pretty sure it's this outcome. But having 2 NA teams go up against each other where you're guaranteeing one gets knocked out is also would also be hard to stomach. But okay, again, now that we've gotten the feel good out of the way of being like 3 NA, 2 South Korea, woo! I don't see there being any NA left after the round of 8. I don't see it happening.
That is a sane position to take.
Yeah, because as I mentioned before, Ballistics and MVP Black looked, and Fnatic and Dignitas looked leagues above the competition in their games.
We got to see very few games out of them, and when we did, it was very much the same style on repeat with a ban in the next game to change it up a little bit on them. I don't know if these guys are hiding secrets. We hope they are for our entertainment, because they could just be bringing out the butter and toast and just calling it good for the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, yeah, you're right. Like this is a big enough break before the next one. I would like to assume that they're not going to leave anything hiding, because it's not going to be good come the middle of January.
Yeah.
So I hope they pull it all out. And same for the NA teams. If they are keeping any pocket strats hidden, I hope we do see it before it comes out. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I've really, after seeing everyone we assumed would be first place out of their group 100% secure that first place spot in their group, it's just looking rough for our NA teams. I mean, congrats on making it this far and for having so many teams in a showing now as we're down to the final 8. But it's going to be a tough road. But I'm still holding out hope, man. I'm showing up to Roll20 versus Ballistics. Like, yeah, let's do this, Roll20. I'm putting a 20-sided die on my chest.
Well, they're going to have some time to prepare for it. Review the matches for what it's worth. I think it'll be a great slam, and because the single elimination, they will fight ridiculously hard and with whatever they got in their pocket. If they feel like Ballistics can't be beat by normal means, they'll pull out some fancy cheese, and that's what they did. That's so horrifying about the MVP Black and the Ballistics matches I watched, is there was no rhyme or reason when you're just kind of watching it, why they're 3 levels ahead, why they're 13 and they're 9 even, 4 levels ahead. No one's soaking the bottom. They're just doing everything better, and they just choose to neglect the correct things. It's madness.
Yeah. Well, whatever the case is, dude, did you just catch the end of Group C?
What happened there?
Okay. So, if you didn't see this, everyone, I'm gonna spoil it here. If you can, again, I don't believe that esports results are spoilers any more than sports results are spoilers. But if you haven't seen it, and even if I am spoiling it for you, watch it anyway. Game 2 between Tempest and Roll20 was awesome. It was just absolutely ridiculous. It was on Battlefield of Eternity. Tempest has what I'm affectionately referring to as a cheese-tacular 3-warrior double support composition. Just so much health, so much healing, and to add to the amazing feat that is Roll20 making it through this and 2-0ing Tempest. They were down so far at one point in this game that both forts and both keeps of Roll20s were gone off the map, and everything was still up for Tempest. And Roll20 managed to team fight their way, just knock the teeth out of Tempest, and turn this around and win it.
This was the reset comp, right? With Genji, Li Ming.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to see it work against 3 tanks.
I couldn't believe it. Was just once you got that first one, it was an echo, basically. Once that first death happened, reset kill, like bam, bam, bam. It was just ridiculous.
My favorite thing about the game that you're talking about is that it wasn't human. Like, this is one of the few times in Heroes where I've had that StarCraft moment where you go, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not running that comp. Not writing that down on my little piece of paper. Nobody's taking that home. But nice job.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was watching it just like, God, poor Zeratul. He's just a void prison. That's all he is. He's a mobile void prison. It's like, what's he gonna do? It was just so nuts to watch. They were so behind at one point. I was just watching this like, this game is over. Thank God there's a game 3 after this. And then, nope, never mind. There is no more game 3 because they somehow won. It was impressive.
Amazing.
It was, for me, it was the highlight of the entire group stage. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is the kind of game that, like, I looked at it and it made me rethink my attitude in playing this game. Because if I was in this scenario, I would have just been like, screw it. There's no way we're doing this. You're all a bunch of jerks. I quit.
I don't know, man. I mean, so it's Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah.
And they pick up ETC Sonya. Okay, fine. They're going double tank. Artanis. Sure, they want some amateur opponent. And they throw in a Brightwing and an Ana. I get why we were all like, yeah, they're not going to Genji Li Ming that down in our heads. But at the same time, I don't want to be a part of either one of these. Neither one of these are beautiful in my mind. No,
they're really not. I mean, the burst heal on the side of Tempest here is very dependent on not missing those darts, combining it with a grenade, that type of stuff. I'm with you. I don't want to see this. I don't want to have to I don't want to make Roll20's composition work solo healing that stuff on an Uther. No, thank you. Not for me. Yeah,
I'd do it any day. Any day I'll take solo healing Uther over Rhaegar. But, I mean, that's the big thing I've taken from this tournament. Just like we talked about last week, our quick match and our loot boxes leading us on to things. I have played Rhaegar for the first time since getting him to 5 since his release.
Damn. That's impressive. I didn't know that.
I do not want to solo heal Rhaegar. I think Divine Shield is amazing compared to Ancestral, which is just the most delayed, clunkiest thing on Earth, but great if everybody's targeting the tank, which shouldn't be happening in the first place. So I just, even during his Mad Med in the past, the bloodlust craze and everything, I didn't want to be Thrall, I didn't want to be Rhaegar. And I don't want to be Rhaegar. But I want to be Rhaegar running alongside Lucio. Like, if there's one thing I'm stealing from HGC here, it has been the Rhaegar Lucio. It is insane. I love it. It's the stupidest thing on earth. Like, not even like an OP, like, oh, it just makes stupid comps totally work. Like, we spent all of Saturday with my team running Garrosh, Malthael, Butcher with Lucio, Rhaegar. We even fought at one point Chromie, Hammer, and Jaina. And it's like, how do you even win this without range? Well, you don't need range when you have speed boost and bloodlust, and you don't have to make decisions about who to sweet ancestral heal 3 seconds after I know it's like a 1 second delay, but you know, it feels like a minute that thing takes to go off. When I can just hit the everybody run real quick button, and everyone destroys everybody and gets healing for it.
Can we make that happen sometime soon? I want to see that.
Oh, you want to run that comp?
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah, we should do that after the show here.
Cool. All right. Sounds like a plan. Because we played a little Lucio and Rhaegar earlier today, but it was a quick match, and you went Ancestral.
I did, because we had a Genji and a Jaina as our main source of damage, so there wasn't anything to Bloodlust. We had to be tactical, and we did win that. It just took a lot of work.
Yeah, don't forget we also had a Rainer. And at one point we were up 2 levels, and somehow we threw it away to where they had 2 levels on us.
Yeah, but then that next game, we went and played Artanis Butcher, and...
How have we never done that before? We've never done that before, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think... That's actually a pretty recent development. It's real basic for my team. It's funny that it took us so long. But you can choose whether you lead with the reliable stun for the Wombo or the skill shot for the Wombo. And based on what sort of team you have, like if you're going, let's say, Muradin, Li Ming. Muradin's stun is a chance, so he makes the engage trying to get the stun off, and then Li Ming lines it up afterwards, much like a sleep dart Li Ming too. Whereas sometimes you can choose to do the opposite. You'll hit the for sure thing first, and then we'll swap backwards. Either way, we did both excellently, and it was fantastic good times.
It was gross. It was really gross and mean, and I apologize to the people on the other side. So, anyway, dude, you brought some stats. Let's take a look at them. What has happened in HGC? So you already mentioned that we had over 72% of the hero pool played, which impresses me. Even though the majority of that was double warrior, double support.
That is the case. 37 games counted for the double warrior, double support, single assassin. And we're not talking bruisers. We're not talking, off supports or anything like that. We're just talking the pure tags right now. After that in popularity was 27 games at single warrior, double support, double assassin, which actually had the lowest win rate of the entire tournament so far, 41%. So double support, double assassin, not the way to go here. In fact, the way to go seems to be a bit scandalous. It's double warrior, single support, assassin, specialist. But sadly, the specialist, to bum out the sweet story in the first place, is usually Medivh or Abathur.
All right, but take this back. Saying that is working the best is a bit like winning 2 games ever on Vala, going to your hot slogs and looking at all your stuff, and you're like, Vala, 100%, oh my god. And underneath that is, I don't know, Uther, and he has a 53%, but 300 plus games logged versus the 2 on the Vala, because Kyle, only 8 games were played with the composition you just mentioned.
Right. Not a popular comp. So we're seeing a very huge disparity into the double warrior, double support, single assassin. And it's got a 51% win rate, which is sane. I like that. The problem is, of course, people like me watching HGC don't see 51%. They say, "Oh, Rhaegar Lucio, how fun," and run with it.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is probably safe, because it works.
I think the most shocking thing for me in the entire tournament is the number of first-pick Ariels. It has a 43% win rate, which isn't a great win rate in the first place for being first pick. I think in the entire tournament, her win rate is even lower than that. But they're just leading with her, and it seems like the most bullheaded thing you could do. And then I think, wait, are they 21? And my brain says probably. And then it goes, well, that makes sense.
What does being 21 have anything to do with it?
I don't get why you would lead with an Ariel pick. It informs so much about what sort of battery you're going to have, what sort of comp is going to be around this thing. They give it a double support, but sometimes it's a Tassadar, and that's not going to help Ariel. But I think we just have the best of the best Heroes players, and at this phase of the tournament, a lot of people are just going, we're just going to bully what we want, just pick it. That's what we're good at, pick it.
Well, was not one of the stronger picks.
Yeah, and the stats have shown that it is not. So going forward, will they stop these Ariel picks or will they continue?
But there were also much more egregious offenders in terms of popular first pick, but extremely low win rate.
Yeah, that is very true. Brightwing, 25%.
Breaks my heart. Absolutely breaks my heart.
Not for the whole tournament. That's just when Brightwing was first picked.
Yeah. And ETC right there with Brightwing. 25% win rate when first picked.
Kind of makes sense.
Yep.
I think ETC informs the counters you want for him, which are just stuns, and those are great in any game. And Brightwing communicates a certain level of healing that even if you fill it out with a second support, it's still going to be happening.
Yep. On the flip side of that, for the most popular first picks with the highest win rates at the first pick slot are Tassadar, Garrosh, and Muradin, all with over 60%. Garrosh and Muradin closing in on 70%.
Makes sense. Characters that aren't really going to inform your comp. If you first pick a Tassadar, oh no, they're going Tracer, they're going Vala. Well, Sustain's great anyway, so we could assume those things were going to happen.
Oh no, they're playing the game.
Oh, they plan to damage us. Everyone run.
Yeah, and same in Garrosh and Muradin, yeah. Garrosh, oh no, they're trying to kill us.
They're trying to make engagements for themselves, and they want a solo tank that can also lane and is, in general, a great secret agent kind of character right now, Muradin.
Yep, absolutely. And Garrosh and Tassadar also landing over in the top most banned heroes. Garrosh banned 4 times. Tassadar banned a whopping 9 times. And then also sharing the spotlight with Abathur, Genji, and Medic. Abathur, Genji, Garrosh, and Medic, by the way, all banned 4 times.
So the same amount, but funny to see the Medic in there, and funny to see even in this modern crazy area, Medic picked in double support, often alongside a Tassadar.
I can see it.
Yeah, pat her out a little bit, but mainly you have this huge amount of sustain healing, and then the burst on top of it in case that's too incremental for what's going on out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else? I mean, like some of the most popular heroes is in line with what we already talked about, but this has nothing to do with when they were picked. Tassadar at the top of the mound again, Muradin, Rhaegar, Greymane, who we actually haven't really talked much about already, but very popular.
56%, solid. Sees a couple bans here and there throughout. Sonya, Genji, Vala, Abathur is probably, where you're going to see the biggest change from our Hero League to their pro scene. There are a couple characters that saw single games, like Zeratul and Artanis, that Lili we talked about. Zul Jin and Tychus even saw Thrall seeing a single game, as funny as that is at this point. But there are quite a few unplayed characters, as you might assume. Asmodan, Chen, Cho'Gall, Gazlo, Jaina, Murky, Nova Probius, Raynor, Rexar, Samuro, Sylvanas, Lost Vikings, and Valera. And perhaps the most shocking of all those for us Hero League players, Nazebo, Tyrande, Varian. Completely unplayed.
Yeah, that's, you're right. Sylvanas surprises me too. But hey, for everybody in my games out there, I would like you to take this list, copy Asmodan, and paste it over everything else. Just stop picking him, please, and thank you.
No Asmodans for Garrett.
I'm still on the warpath. I'll get back from BlizzCon. I'll have had my break. I'll probably come back a little more calm, a little more level-headed. But I'm still on the Asmodan warpath right now.
There's a lot of characters on it. I mean, like Zagara used to be all around. I mean, now maybe without Cloud9 and High Dream, Rexar doesn't happen anymore. It could just be our player base has changed. But shocking to see some of those guys up there. And it really comes down to lane clear is handled by smart rotations, and you don't need to really invest in a specialist, is often the case here.
It's a very good point, Kyle. Something I haven't really thought of. That makes perfect sense. If you're rotating correctly, why do you need one?
You don't need to clear it up super fast and then catch up. You don't need a Kale Foss. He's too squishy. And by proper management, you can stop it from becoming a giant wave that you would have to flame strike in the first place.
I can think of reasons, of course. Like if you want a 4-stack and you just want to roam and murder, once Zagara gets online with like a Nidus network or something at 10, that could be very effective. But you're now informing your comp very heavily based off of one hero pick, which is, you already mentioned, Kyle, kind of a scary thing about Ariel.
Well, and kind of goes for Zagara. I'm sure Zagara will have her time in the light again if we start killing tanks again, because she just can't get in the back. And those Hydras are perhaps too darn convenient to throw on that Muradin. And in ages where our tanks aren't dying, she's just not going to win.
Yeah. They should just increase the range. Just let me do Hydras from the safety of the altar, for all I care.
Of the core, yes.
Yeah.
Sieging Hydras.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, well, man, I know we talked a little bit at the top. I'm definitely in favor of a double elimination bracket and whatnot, and that's even more informed by how scary the bracket, staring down our NA heroes is looking. But I'm still very much looking forward to this. And, hey, we're in NA. We're going to be NA fanboys, but this is just going to be really good heroes. I want to see the best team win. That's what's going to happen. That's what's been happening. I don't know, just bring it on. I'm ready for Friday to get here. I want to put my butt in a seat and watch some Heroes Esports.
It's going to be best of 3 and into best of 5 for the semis and the finals. It's going to be cutthroat. I'm really looking forward to it. So, and that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to do my walk around Saturday and around sometime after lunch once I've seen all the sites. You camp out and watch that esports.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, before we take some emails, mostly tweets, let's thank our patrons supporting Into the Nexus over at patreon.com/ITN. If you like this podcast, if you're a fan of it and you want to support both Kyle and myself, and also Jeff Kanata, and also Mr. Dunk Train. By the way, we very briefly fell back below Dunk Train's goal, and then Mr. Cheesy Bob, one of our producers, added $2 to his already extremely generous backing of the show, and got us back over that goal. So thank you, Cheesy Bob. So if you're out there, if you like Into the Nexus, you want to keep us over that goal, give us a little bit of padding, head on over there and subscribe to our show for whatever works for you. But this episode, we wanted to thank Candy Bean, Dan C., Philip G., Mark H., Nicholas L. Thank you all very much for supporting this here podcast and helping us hit some goals to bring some other talented folk back on the show on a regular basis. I think we're good, by the way, Kyle. I think we're good. I talked to Dunk. He said he's pretty free. I think we're going to be able to find some magical time when all 4 of us can sit down and talk BlizzCon at BlizzCon.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
I'm excited for it, dude. Man, BlizzCon's going to be great. This was the first year I was getting really stressed out leading up to it. And now that it's the week of, short of needing to pack, I'm just like, yeah, just bring it on. Let it get here.
Yeah. It's like the Tower of Terror when you're 13. The movie was a little spooky. The line is spooky. But once you're on the ride, you're just going. You have a good time.
You are such a delicate 13-year-old.
Should I have made him younger? Was that too old to be scared of that ride?
I think I might have been 13 or 14 the first time I wrote it. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. I like the Twilight Zone. Nice theming, guys. Nice theming. And now it's Guardians of the Galaxy in California, I think. Yeah. Not here in Florida. In Florida, it's still the Tower of Terror.
For now.
I don't think they have any plans to change it. Because they're...
Aerosmith even is getting a little moldy.
That's
the ride's great, but it doesn't resonate with the kids.
Disney's Hollywood Studios, and this is on point because a lot of people are going to BlizzCon and about to go to Disneyland. Slightly off point in fact that we're talking about Disney World. But Disney Hollywood Studios, which used to be called MGM, but they lost the license, is pretty sad right now, dude, because they were adding 2 different new large sections. They're adding, I believe, a Toy Story land and the very well-known Star Wars land that's being built into Hollywood Studios. So right now, it's sad. You've got the Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, Star Tours, the Muppets, and that's basically it.
But it's going to be cool, man. My dad works at Disney. He sends me a lot of stuff I shouldn't talk about, but it looks really sweet.
Don't get Kyle's dad fired, everybody.
Nope.
All right, well, let's wrap the show up with a ton of emails and a ton of tweets.
Darkness stopped calling.
I hear the wilds call. Wait, nature calls.
Okay, tell them I'm not here.
You can send your emails to itncast@gmail.com, but we're going to start with some tweets that were sent to ITNcast on Twitter. I basically put a tweet out and said, hey guys, what are your hopes? What are your dreams? What questions do you have about BlizzCon? And then because I knew we'd be running around like crazy today, I was like, also send us some just stupid off-topic stuff, guys. I want to know. Let's have some fun. Anyway, start things off at Chris Gansler says, how come you guys are so handsome? And I sent him a code for Glam Metal ATC because flattery will get you everywhere in life.
Leading with the heavy stuff.
Yeah. Why are we so handsome, Kyle?
Hard work, I'd say. There hasn't really been a natural evolution. I'm still not very comfortable. I'm working on it, you know? Like, so last year...
Hair obsession.
Well, hair is just impossible. If it's in someone's eyes, it feels like they're in their eyes. There's no getting around it. Awesome hair that is located on your face rather than floating above is 100% trying to make its way into your mouth at all times. You just have to be cool enough and nonchalant enough about it to make it look okay.
I tweeted a picture later last week because I pretty much only use Facebook now to remind me of terrible haircuts I had, and it reminded me on Thursday of last week of the longest my hair has ever been with a picture from BlizzCon, because BlizzCon used to happen in October. And I tweeted that out, so folks, you can go and see me with almost shoulder-length hair, and you're absolutely right, Kyle. It would always be in my mouth, always curling and poking me, stabbing me in the eye. Then eventually I just started chewing on it, and that's when I cut it off.
Yeah. It's gone too far.
Yeah, just became too much. Also, I was living in Florida and not California anymore, and it was nasty. Very hot, but yeah. Just become horribly self-obsessed with your hair. There you go. At Julian Boyce asks, will we ever get a Wrathy Basin map? Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm glad you have the answer.
I think just yes. Has to happen.
I hope so. I hope we don't wait around and it becomes a thing, and it's too big of a thing. We friend-zoned a Wrathy Basin for too long, and it can never be.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of these things that I am so very hopeful for that I refuse to believe anything other than yes is my answer.
Yeah, I like that.
At Deckerfo says, if Deathwing is announced, what role would we like him to be and what spells? I got nothing on spells because that takes way too much thought, but I want him to be a bruiser.
I think if human form, yeah, that's right. That seems right.
Yeah.
It's all plated. Got that big old jaw for taking some hits.
Yeah, he should have a lot of hit points, but he needs to also be able to dish it out. So I don't think he should be a good solo tank, but I think he should be a meaty damage dealer.
It'll be really interesting to see if this BlizzCon tries to bring back the specialist, because Ragnaros wasn't a specialist either, and that was kind of shocking at the time after seeing all he could do. In fact, we labeled him as the community as the bruiser. So will they make a ploy for specialists? Will they try to sell us on it? Or will they go, HGC didn't like it, Nazebo's basically a sustained assassin now? Whatever, kids.
Fair enough. Okay, wait, no. He has to. One of his heroics has to be called Cataclysm. I don't care what it does. I just hope that, maybe not regular Deathwing, but I hope one of his skins, that when he casts it, he literally pulls out a boxed copy of World of Warcraft Cataclysm and throws it on the ground to start the spell effect.
That'd be a good spray, nonetheless.
Oh, that would be... How do we not just have box art? Like the literal box with like the T rating in the corner.
You have to animate, like actually 3D the box a little bit, like the Lucio O's, and have, because the actual like imported Horde symbols, those things just are depressing. I spray that and I'm like, I don't really like the Horde anymore.
I don't think they're that bad. They're fine.
Yeah, but when you could do Alarak going Izzy fingers, there are better options.
This doesn't. I'm doing it, by the way, instead of replying to you, and it's not working for an audio audience. That's for damn sure.
No, but you gotta do it.
Yeah, man, I want Deathwing. We're probably getting Alex Draza, but I want Deathwing.
It's hard to imagine in what we want that we don't know, right? It's the Henry Ford problem. You know, people just want a faster horse. And so when I think of Deathwing, the first thing I do is think of mechanics I understand already, like Ragnaros. And I want him climbing over building walls. I want him non-affected by terrain. I want him to have perhaps like a mighty gust, but instead it does AoE fire damage as Deathwing flies overhead. It's framed by what we know. What we don't know is when they come at us and say, oh, by the way, some poor intern drew boxes over every map so you can skate on walls now.
Yeah. I hope that's actually how it happened, by the way.
Me too.
They weren't already there. They had to already be there because there was collision. I think it was fine.
There was Diablo collision, but clear, it took more work than that, I assume.
Even if it was not even Diablo collision, just I can't walk through it collision. That's still collision.
If we're talking like dreams of what graphics could be for MOBAs, I have wanted for the longest time, ever since Warcraft 3 and the Pit Lord character, when he increased his move speed, began to run. He'd do like this rock, this strut with his big old pole arm. But when you got him running, it was one just huge foot in front of the other titanic mammoth beast. Ever since then, an acceleration at different animations, I have wanted guys who lean into their turns. Like if Genji were to make a turn around a build, I want him like digging in with those heels, running on a wall for half a second. Greymane like having to pull out a claw and like stop himself a little bit and then get going momentum.
That's difficult in a game with this degree of control.
And in fact, I was so pleased when, Hydralisks use their little arm daggers to stab melee enemies in StarCraft. So I understand I have to gauge my expectations of the future, but I'm just saying if Heroes 3.0 comes out this BlizzCon and that's not a feature, I won't say I'm out because I probably keep playing.
All right, video game fan Kyle, real talk, real hard-hitting questions. Now, you've made me wonder, do jumping animations in almost every video game ever bother you?
Because they have no momentum?
Pretty much, yeah. It kind of looks like they were just pulled up into the air by invisible puppet strings.
I feel you. It depends, right? Because you have stylistic choices like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which in a vacuum, you take one scene and you put it alongside like Iron Man kunging onto the ground with a fist. I'm going to go with Iron Man. Yes, not standing daintily on top of a tree, but it's all about the theme and what it's surrounded by, and that becomes badass because of its structure. So World of Warcraft jumping, I love. I think it has a lot of bounce to it. I think those characters are ridiculously well animated. You look at a screenshot of WoW and you go, oh my God, people still play this. And then you play WoW and you go, well, yeah, this is a functioning medium for a world to exist.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's all good points. I mean, really, it's a concession about pressing the button and how quickly the action occurs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You made me wonder if that bothered you. At Dark Knight Zero Mike says, do you think it's time for another play mode? What new funky mode would you want, PvE or PvP, tower defense mode for the win? Dark Knight, I'm with you. I would love a tower defense mode. And we already mentioned earlier in the show, boss fights, stuff of that nature. I would very much like that as well.
Yep. Castle defenses that never end, that constantly get harder, ideally with the same heroes as we play in the game, so we can enjoy having those moments of go, oh, I discovered Nidus Network. I can defend 2 points at once. Oh, I discovered that lava wave only works on one door to the keep.
Yeah. Aunt Velzraya wants to know what it's like preparing for BlizzCon when you have panels and responsibilities there. What do you look forward to? I'm going to take these as two separate questions. We both have panels, Kyle. What do you come at it any differently? Or
the panels started once I already started like guesting and hanging out with over half these folks, so it's kind of just another hangout. Except for people are there, and yes, I do take advantage of the fact that I am, imagining myself. I'm sitting in a room all by myself right now. There are live people watching this at the moment, but for Sandy's sake, sometimes you're just in a room. So that illusion's gone. So you got to make it. You got to put it back in there.
Yeah,
hopefully you have a good friend in the audience that you can lock eyes with. So as you do the scan and you keep locking eyes with the same person, they already know you.
I always do just like the corners of the back. and
that's fair.
Typically, it's an empty chair. Like, I don't feel it that hard. And if not, like, you can look at the wall immediately above people's heads and stuff like that. Yeah, I've never been on a panel that required a lot of prep work. Like, even this year when I'm on an official Blizzard panel, I was sort of on one last year. We did an Overwatch powwow that I was a part of with Scott and Patrick and Chris, and we sat down with some Overwatch devs and talked about Sombra and the new map and everything. But it was frankly, it was very last minute. And even if it wasn't, it wouldn't have mattered. We weren't going to know what they were going to announce ahead of time. So we got to BlizzCon. We saw the announcement at the same time as everyone else. And then we huddled in the corner and wrote down questions real fast, went upstairs and did it. And it was fine. And it came out really well because you all would be surprised to find out, or maybe you wouldn't, how many times podcast episodes get drawn together that quickly. But that's like this time, the panel I'm on is just talking about what we do, and I know what I do. And the Hearthstone panel, that's a lot of fun. Last year, my God, going on the Calm Before the Storm and getting to moderate the Hearthstone panel, that was just a blast because it's just like, hey, everyone, tonight's the party. Tomorrow's another party, but it's scheduled with conferences and stuff. Let's just get up here and geek out about what we hope it is and embrace the fact that we don't have a clue.
Yeah. And that's what I look forward to when we're going to get to be interviewing devs and talking to them, is we simply don't know. And that's why I love my Blitz walk, because we've been to a lot of BlizzCons now, and it's awesome to do that run before you get busy and see how much things have changed. I can only imagine being at the first 2, 3 when it was just a room with tables and server names on it, how those people must feel.
Yeah.
Going to now Disney World. Basically.
It's absolutely, it's insane. At the end of the day, the thing I like the most is it's the interaction. Because like you said, Kyle, like right now we're sitting in very small rooms. This one's like 11 by 11 for me. It's tiny. I've got just random crap everywhere. Torn open envelopes, boxes of stuff from the move last year that I haven't opened. It's not exciting. It's nice being in the same room with not only you, but getting to meet listeners of the show when we do these panels. When we do these panels and we take Q&A. It's really cool that we're taking a question from a live person that's standing right there. I can look at them and listen to them, and we can actually have a back and forth. And we don't need to worry about things like Skype connection and things of that nature. But it's
turn your radio down.
It's fun to be in person for this kind of stuff because the other 363 days of the year, it's in front of a screen, and it makes my eye twitch. Seriously.
I'll say it again. For me, the biggest change they've done over the years is they took the security personnel, which are still, in the fronts and around the building, but they took them out of the pits. They took, part-time employees out of the pits, and they filled it with devs. And if you want to turn to the guy managing the line and say, I think that's a cool drawing of Arthas, he may have damn well drawn it, and that's awesome.
Yeah, or more likely, they worked on the team. They had some hand in working on what it is that you just played. So if you think it's awesome, or you experienced a bug or anything of that nature, you can talk to the person that sat you down at that station, and chances are you're going to have a meaningful conversation, and you might just actually help make the game better. And that's
again
rad.
Incept, you got to get those ideas out.
Yes.
I've got what I'm really looking for.
What is it?
I've gone ahead and made my list in advance.
Oh,
because I got to know if they turn to me and say, "What do you want in the game?" I got to be ready to hit. Still gonna leave with Mal'Ganis. I want Mal'Ganis. I want to throw down infernals on top of people's heads. I want Vampiric Horde. I want to put people to sleep. Love it. But I've got some skins that I need. I need Iron Man Val. I need to cartwheel with little booster jets, shoot little mini missiles out of my wrists instead of having 2 little crossbows. I need Origami Genji. He's made of paper, and he folds, and he turns into a paper airplane when he's mounted. Has a little paper sword, and makes lots of crinkle noises when he jumps around. I need Beast Wars Rhaegar after this week, like where the mouth opens up and like the teeth are on the chest, and it does like a kind of transformation.
Anything that is a reference to the greatest Transformers series ever made gets an automatic gold star from me.
And like for some reason his legs are backwards, so he does like this half flip, you know, like a Rat Trap or any of those guys. It was so bogus. The graphics were. I don't know why his brain was out.
Yeah,
Planetarium Li Ming. That's a big one. He's like shooting planets. Has a laser pointer. Have a little like lab coat.
Wait, you want like 8th grade science teacher Li Ming? Like she's throwing solar system projects and has a laser pointer.
I mean, I didn't think like that they would be foam planets, but they could. You know, I was thinking like actual like beautiful Azeroths and sanctuaries flying at people. But I kind of like the idea of like toothpicks sticking out of the sides and then being like, you know, a model of an atom made of gumballs.
What if she's like Celestial Li Ming and she does throw the planets from the universes that are a part of the Nexus?
See, I like that idea.
Like she's like a constellation, although that would kind of make her look like she's in her level 20 form all the time.
Right. Would people be that confused though? Does do too many people? I know people who love Archon and they swear by it, but well, in general, Li Ming doesn't happen much right now.
True. This is one of the few games where I'm like, damn it, no, make a concession based on a cool visual. I don't care. Yeah, if I don't get a cool Brightwing skin, I'm rioting.
Brightwing.
I'm rioting. We need a Brightwing skin worth a damn. If I was a betting man, I would put the most likely chance for an actual cool Brightwing skin would be a Deathwing Whelp Brightwing.
Yeah, well, and you've seen the Zerg, like green and pink version of Diva's Deathwing skin, right?
Yes.
Like they could just give us the Mutawing at the same time.
Yeah. No, I want Mutalisk Brightwing more than anything, but I think it's more likely we'd get a Deathwing spinoff.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
For whatever reason. Or hell, just give us both. That sounds good. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping we hear about a slowdown in the Battleground rotation. That's what I'm really crossing my fingers for, is that they get out there. We find the big thing for me is that we get a Warcraft Battleground, because I can't believe that we don't have one. Like, I hope they at least, it doesn't need to be a big announcement, but if we at least, like the Diablo Battlegrounds, we just see some art, like, hey guys, we're working on it, not out yet, here's some artwork, it is coming. And then after that they follow it up with, by the way, we're going to give you 3 months of no Battleground rotations. I would be ecstatic.
Yeah, we're kind of going beyond like wishing here, and you're just kind of talking about like the things they have to hit for you for this game to be perceived as healthy in your eyes.
Yeah, but I don't want to put it in the light that like if they don't tell me that they're going to slow down on Battleground rotations, I'm going to be angry. That's not true. I'm mostly saying I expect to be wowed and impressed, because I have been year after year by what they have brought to the table with Heroes of the Storm. Even last year, which I would say was a pretty damn quiet year for Heroes of the Storm, still great. Varian and Ragnaros and that damn cinematic that they made that made me get misty-eyed was all fantastic. So they've just been, for me, knocking it out of the park, BlizzCon after BlizzCon, and I expect them to continue that because they're doing good work. But I'm really hoping to hear about them reining in on the damn Battlegrounds.
And I want to hear just some trust regathered about MMR. It's such a mysterious topic. People have so many opinions about what's going on, how matchmaking works. But just knowing that the process is continuing to improve, it's all how they say it in the end. But that does need to happen.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm in the boat that I would rather just give us a better environment to learn within, or at least where the knowledge that we are gathering stays relevant for longer. But that the MMR discussion absolutely needs to be had as well. So, all right, let's get goofy because we got like 3 tweets asking about food.
Okay.
TBK Zord getting in before BlizzCon to ask us at BlizzCon which food truck is the best and why is it the Viking one with the tater tots?
Those are good tots.
I've never eaten at this food truck in question. I don't know what he's referencing.
But you've had fried food at food trucks before, right?
100%. I eat at the food trucks every year. I've just never been to this specific one.
But like there's something special. Maybe it's the layers of caked on friedness, the age and decrepity of, if that's a word, of the oils they use, but there's something twisted and ultimately insanely delicious about fried things from a van.
Yes. Yeah, I'm boring. I love food truck burgers because they're always amazing. And Burger Monster, which that truck is out in the lot outside of BlizzCon every year, has yet to disappoint me with their burgers.
It's crazy out there, though. I will admit that I often duck into the bowels of the Hilton and end up at like a Subway or something.
I go to Baja Fresh in there all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the healthier options within immediate walking distance.
That's not saying much.
No, it's not, but I can go in there and get grilled chicken. It's
good for you.
Fast food grilled chicken, but at least I don't want to die afterwards. At the Crushinator asks, which restaurant that you generally only go to when at BlizzCon do you think Sonia would enjoy the most? And the answer is Korean barbecue. Doesn't matter which one, because she would just bathe in meat.
Yeah, I think that's right. Because I was thinking, like, P.F. Chang's would just be an insult.
Why would P.F. Chang's be an insult?
It's got the statues out. Like, can you imagine, like, you're a barbarian, you're in your furs, and you got a giant weapon, and you walk up to P.F. Chang's, and the statues are outside, and you're like, all right, let's do this. And the glass doors open. You've never seen glass before. You're like, whoa. And the fire is going in the back. And then you see him, like, open the plastic container and, like, pour it in. And you're like, this isn't cooking. And you throw some sort of, well, barbarian rage. At least I would.
P.F. Chang's is really good. I've never seen them open a plastic container and just throw it in.
I think that the braised meat in the center of the table would appeal more to a barbarian.
Oh, I agree. Good. You're saying I'm right, and I always love hearing that.
Yeah. I'm not arguing its deliciousness. I'm just saying that for a rustic home-cooked meal, it is not.
I'm sad you're not going to be in early enough today, on Thursday, Kyle, for the Korean barbecue outing, because it's happening again, and it's happening even earlier because of rehearsals.
Oh, I'm happy to miss it, so I have energy at 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah, but what
You'll be
restaurant
dying from your meat?
What restaurant do you generally only go to when at BlizzCon?
Jack in the Box.
I was expecting something a little more like, oh man, every year I look forward to it. I can't wait for it.
No, it's just the last thing that's open after that Saturday or the Friday esports till 1 a.m. So we always end up at Jack in the Box.
Oh, okay. There's also Denny's, but I don't blame you for ignoring it.
No.
I know that Jack in the Box isn't exactly high quality food either, but I love me some Jack in the Box, and I'll take it any day over Denny's.
Yeah.
It's definitely Korean barbecue for me. The last 2 years I've been lucky enough to go and enjoy Korean barbecue with some of the Hearthstone folks. And it's delicious, and there's always good company. That and In-N-Out Burger. No matter what god-awful hour we land our first night there, we go and get In-N-Out Burger. And then go to sleep, which is the worst thing you can do after eating In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah, my tactics are downright shameful, and I'm embarrassed by them. I need to find more BlizzCon traditions.
You used to drive in. You're flying in this year. Next year, you just need to fly in earlier, and we'll work on it. You just need more padding. The more padding you have on either side of BlizzCon, the more traditions you create.
That's true.
So, and then finally, has nothing to do with BlizzCon, but at JGLA Forge asks, pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Yay.
Hate it with every fiber of my being.
So, why?
I don't like hot fruit almost entirely in general. I'm not even a big fan of apple pie. I will rock some apple pie from time to time if I'm really in the mood, but I'd rather just have a chocolate pie or cake.
I think that is a legitimate response, because I too have had those pocket warm fruit packs when I was a kid. Those things did not hold up.
I don't think that was really what I don't know. I grew up with way too much sugar in my system. So when I got to fruit, I was just like, you're not cutting it. I need the hard stuff. I've already had black tar heroin, and you're trying to give me an Advil?
Yeah. No, okay. I see that as well.
Yeah. Also, it's usually accompanied by ham, and I find ham to be the most passable of meats. I'm not a big ham fan.
Well, they also, put plastic on it as a surprise on the outside.
What?
But like a ham pizza, a ham pineapple pizza is, well, you don't even like the pineapple in the first place. But if someone who likes pineapple pizza, the ham is 100% removable, in my opinion. I don't want it there. But the main reason is because they put that darn film on the outside of ham, and so you get those little sticks in your mouth. The remnants of the ham shielding.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know this was a thing. I have a feeling that we're going to get some emails from people who are like, Kyle, I don't know what ham you're eating on pizza.
No, you know bologna, right? Bologna.
Bologna?
I'm going to assume that's a regional thing. If not, I've been wrong for a very long time.
I've heard some people call it bologna, but I think they're just being jerks.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing the fajita thing. No, but bologna. You peel off the outside, right, before you put it on a sandwich. Otherwise, there's this film on the outer meat.
Okay, again, this is lost on me because bologna is trash, and I don't eat it.
Okay.
It just goes right in the garbage because I think it tastes horrible.
You've never gotten like into honey baked ham, and there's all those little black wiggly lines all over your ham sandwich, and you bite into it, and then you're just pulling out strings of ham skin.
Nope, can't say I've noticed that.
I'm completely insane here. I can't believe this.
I think you're completely insane.
Oh my god, lunch meat skins. Okay, well, that makes or breaks the ham, but we weren't even.
I think a bully. Yeah. I think a bully at your school, Kyle, was a very sneaky bully. I think he would go in and like he'd sneak your lunchbox, open it, take your sandwich out, open the bread, and over it just rub a pencil eraser on top of it, and then close it back up, and you never knew.
The rind. It's called a rind. Maybe, I don't know. The uni in the chat is saying that. Maybe that helps somebody. Out
okay.
there.
Well, the uni's also saying that people are supposed to eat the rind.
Okay. Well, you are. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's
hard.
It's all fine, man.
To go with this.
We're all good here. I think the thing we've noticed here is that you can be pro and anti-pineapple and still be the best of friends.
Clearly, there is something that happens that makes people very sensitive about what sort of textures go in their mouths, and some people hate sushi.
Yeah, and those people are wrong, and that's okay.
It's true. It's a adventure.
I love sushi. Yeah, I by the way, serious point on the pineapple pizza debate. I think the reason this gets brought up so much is pizza is really the only food in a social context where you have to make a decision on what goes on it because it's being shared between more than one person.
Yeah.
So if you this actually I think came up at our RPG session last year at Christmas when you were down and we were playing the Star Wars pen and paper RPG. We ordered a bunch of pizzas. And I think pineapple came up, and you were the bigger man and was like, I don't need it.
Oh, yeah. No. Anyone who insists on pineapple, now you're just doing the, like, I'd never get embarrassed thing. Then why are you saying that, man? You're embarrassed.
Yep. Or you just want someone to ask you to do something that puts all the attention on you because you claim you don't get embarrassed. Well, all right. That was fun and ridiculous. Shall we get back into some actual Heroes talk?
We can.
All right. Jeff from Maine wrote into itncast@gmail.com and said, hey guys, here are my predictions for BlizzCon. I predict a StarCraft theme with 2 new heroes, a Firebat tank, and the Overmind as the WoW hero. A special Terran Zerg and Protoss 3-lane map that will introduce a new gameplay mode. All of this will be in line with Blizzard announcing a new game set in the StarCraft universe. Let me know what you think, and thanks for the show.
Oh.
Not in line with the whispers we're hearing, except for the Firebat. But I would be really happy if this was the case.
It's interesting to go down the Overmind path this late, because after the game came out, we saw Abathur, and we got, this game can be everything we've ever dreamed. Let's break it in pieces, and we'll replace the core, and it'll be awesome. If this came back now, I think it would really freshen things up and give us that feeling again.
Yeah. I would like it. I would like it. Also, yeah, how have we not had that now? I'm trying to think. That is surprising that we haven't had different minion, at least art, divvied up by lane.
Oh, interesting. What do you mean by that?
Well, he mentioned here, like, he said a Terran Zerg Protoss 3-lane map, and in my mind, one lane is Terran, one lane is Zerg, one lane is Protoss.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Or, I don't know, you mix it up, like top lane is Terran versus Zerg from left to right, the middle lane is Protoss versus Terran from left to right, and the bottom, whatever.
It's always exciting to go down that road and think like, and then the Zerg beats the Protoss lane. So someone throws a switch or you control some point and then you get the advantage in that lane as it outpushes, almost like catapults for your side. And then I think of what Volskaya looks like right now, and we don't even know how to work a two-person robot into a team comp.
Like, or what if that was just a very meta map and it was a GSL stage?
Oh, that'd be, like really get in the headspace. And you have to know StarCraft counters to play the map. You have to assign how many, Hydralisks spawn in this lane versus roaches. And
all right, you're taking it too far, but yeah, that'd be great. And then if you look in the little forts and keeps, they're actual known pro players from StarCraft history, and that's why the race is the race that are marching down the lane. Like top lane, if it's Terran, you look in the little window, there's a little Marine King Prime. Middle lane, some Zerg. You look in the window. Oh, hey, Flash. What are you doing in there?
It is interesting that we heard a definite no from the Diablo folks, that there won't be anything, but nothing about StarCraft.
Yeah. With co-op, I think they're always going to have a little something to announce now with StarCraft 2. And it's still played
as... This is the Warcraft 3 year?
Oh, you mean
as Warcraft 4?
As a retro... Like a Blizzard Classic thing?
Yeah, the remake that's been on their employment options for so long.
I hope so, because I've been really wanting to replay it, and I wouldn't mind playing a slightly shinier version.
Me too.
But I could also totally see it not happening this year. It seems pretty stacked outside of, Diablo not doing a darn thing, which makes me sad, because I want new Diablo. But I don't know. Anyway, moving right along, DG writes in and says, I have had my expectations colored by a rumor floating around that Alexstrasza and the StarCraft Firebat will be coming to the Nexus in a Hearth's Fire-themed mini-event following BlizzCon. I think a map will be announced and playable on the floor, but it won't be releasing for a bit. Lots of new skins will be revealed. The big talk at the main Heroes of the Storm panel will be focused on how the social features of the Blizzard launcher are going to be integrated into Heroes of the Storm with some new chat features for the social groups. Not a lot else other than the mechanics talk, but I hope to be surprised. Not a lot else other than everything you just said.
Right, but I love that, DG's clearly going out on a pretty big limb here and saying everything that I think we already know and expect to have happen, right? I mean, the general gathered idea is, I think we're getting Alexstrasza and Firebat. It's going to be some sort of fire event. I don't know. BlizzCon's for fire now.
I hope it's right. I like it. And I think that would make sense too. We just got a new map, so if there even is one, and I'd be surprised if there is one, but I hope there is one, and I hope it better damn well be Warcraft themed. I don't think it'll actually be hitting the game anytime soon, and I don't want it to. I think we need the breathing room.
Yeah, I think he called the safest bet, and you would not be upsetting yourself to believe this pretty strongly.
No. Where there's smoke, there's typically fire with Blizzard rumors.
Yeah.
So
be interesting to put in a new map.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Shareable Texas writes in, and this will be the final email for today, and he says, so I'm a new player since 2.0, and I have a tinfoil hat theory for BlizzCon. We currently have every base Hearthstone hero in Heroes, save for Anduin. What if they simultaneously announce a completing of the circle by releasing Anduin alongside a Hearthstone exclusive hero? I think it could either be Reno Jackson, Sir Finley, or Patches. Patches would be hilarious. But this would be big, since it would open up the Nexus to the world of Hearthstone. My money is on Sir Finley. I don't think it's happening this year. I see this happening within the next year. I don't think it's happening at BlizzCon.
Yeah, Overwatch is the MOBA of shooters, and you can see the connection. I don't know if it's worth, and maybe it's just the wrong tree to bark up, to go after card gamers.
I don't
Like, would that
necessarily
fascinate you?
I don't think they need to. I don't think that's the point. I don't know. I guess I don't put that much stock in whatever the releasing heroes happens to be. It really pulling in a lot of players, except for maybe Overwatch. And to me, it's just because I think in my head, I have this impression that there are a lot of new faces to Blizzard Entertainment in general that are coming in through Overwatch. And so I think new Overwatch heroes have that effect because there are a lot of players playing Overwatch who are just completely unfamiliar with everything else on Blizzard's plate. And so seeing, I can go into this other Blizzard game and play Ana, let me go give that a shot. But I don't think it's the same level of impact for a new Warcraft, a Diablo, or a StarCraft hero. Because that's playing to the nostalgic Blizzard fanboys who have most likely already tried out heroes. Yes, I'm sure it brings some players back, but I don't think it's going to have as big of an impact. And this is all out of my butt, by the way. I have no numbers to back this up. This is just how I feel.
I think it's very fair. And when we imagine something like an Innkeeper hero, they're really complex, unless you break them down to, like, Q is summon Raptor, and E is draw. But what did you draw? What's the mechanic? Can you play cards? Are your Q through E always changing? So here, I think Texas is right that they would aim for something a lot simpler. I would love to have Anduin. I would love a level 10 choice of Shadow Priest or not. I just think having a priest representation in the game would be fantastic for my own playability and enjoyment.
I would like that as well. Been wanting a priest. I would love some Hearthstone heroes, just in general. Sir Finley's very high on my list as well. But, there's so many. Give us more skins. We have that one Falstad skin that is basically a one-for-one representation of that crazy parrot-riding pirate from Hearthstone.
Yeah, charge.
Yeah, why not just give us a Sir Finley Murky skin? Why not give us you could skin Tyrande to look like Elise Starseeker?
Yeah.
Although her wielding a bow would be a little weird, but you can figure it out.
Varian Reno Jackson's probably the closest, unless he did Reno Jackson Raynor.
I think Reno Jackson would have to be his own
Raynor
thing.
Jackson.
Raynor Jackson. Oh, that's great. They don't make it just straight up Reno. They just give Raynor a Reno costume so that you can just kind of write off the fact that he's using a machine gun.
Make it a Tommy gun.
Reno
wrong expansion, right? But
yeah, it's the wrong expansion. I wouldn't see Reno using a Tommy gun, but whatever the case is, let's just get some more skins to get that off. And I still would really like some Hearthstone heroes, like actual heroes with unique kits. I think Reno Jackson is one that would deem a new hero. But I think really we're just waiting for them to stumble across a kit that fits on a Hearthstone-specific hero. But we'll have to wait and see.
When the kits are ready. And, say what you want about Garrosh's execution to his character. The kit was ready, and it fit well enough, and that's the order delivery's coming. And that's why BlizzCon's so fascinating to guess about. Because there's going to be something special, and it breaks the mold that we normally see. Yeah.
I would again argue last year, tame compared to Cho'Gall.
Yeah, I agree. But on the floor, Ragnaros didn't seem tame. From at home, perhaps, right? Like there's this whole, we've been talking about BlizzCon in person, and the majority of people listening are going to be on at home or virtual ticket or getting the information on sites as it popped up. And I can absolutely say to them that you guys have a way better understanding of what's going on for the video games than we do on the floor. We're getting snippets. We're seeing a sweet cutscene. And 5 minutes in, you guys know everything.
Yeah, and honestly, I was out at Nerdtacular when Stukov got announced, and it was 700 some odd people versus 30,000 of BlizzCon. But the same thing was happening. We were all like losing our mind, like, oh my god, it's a Zerg support? What how? What? And then I was watching the video on my crappy little phone, and I saw him use Lurking Arm, and I'm just like, how is this not a heroic? This is broken. And when you don't have all the information, those are the conclusions you jump to.
It's like, yeah, good analogy for life again. Thank you, heroes.
Thank you. And I didn't even mean to do it. But anyways, I'm very excited. And that brings us, I think, to the end of this episode. Keep those emails coming, itncast@gmail.com. Maybe don't send in any other BlizzCon predictions, because the next time we will put out one of these episodes, BlizzCon will have come and gone, or at least started, and we will have known the big announcements. Anyway, we're not sure if we're recording before or after the finals. I would like to do it after, but we'll see how the weekend shakes out. Thank you again, everyone. Everyone for the tweets, everyone for the emails. Thank you very much. I hope a lot of you are coming out to BlizzCon, because we always like meeting the listeners that make up the ITN community. Thanks again to our badass patrons over at patreon.com/ITN. Thank you to our producers, Declan H., Cheesy Bob, and Mythdoll. You typically catch us live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, God, it's Monday. Okay, so obviously no Thursday show this week, and no Thursday show next week. We will be recording an episode at BlizzCon. I don't believe we have any way to stream it live, so don't expect a live stream from BlizzCon. But that episode will go up later in the week on this feed. There will be an episode next week, just no live stream. So don't expect a live stream if you're one of the Twitch watchers or after show games or anything of that nature. I'm going to continue. I'm traveling immediately after BlizzCon. So also, the episode will already be recorded. So, but normally, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, come on over, twitch.tv/amovetv. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast. And Kyle, where can folks find you?
You can find me normally over at twitch.tv/Kyle Fergusson, but you won't until the 7th, for I will be out of town for BlizzCon, and anything else would be already done by the time y'all hear this, so enjoy BlizzCon.
Yep. I actually have the calendar up in front of me, so no show on the 2nd, no show on the 9th, but there will be an episode going up on the feed that week. Next live episode of Into the Nexus will not be happening until November 16th. BlizzCon be cray-cray, folks. BlizzCon be cray-cray. I'm on Twitter at Garrett Art. Every podcast I do is over at amove.tv. There are many to go check out. This is going up. I'm going to release this tomorrow, so it'll be Halloween. It's Halloween, folks. Go subscribe to Embrace the Spoilers. We just put up an episode for the original Friday the 13th. Go listen to that and get in the Halloween spirit with what I think is actually not one of the better Friday the 13th movies.
I always get them confused. Friday the 13th is the hockey mask?
Yes, except the very first movie, it's his mother.
Spoiler.
It's older than you and I.
It's true.
By a large margin. It has been out there. It's like the thing everyone, like, when they want to sound smart about horror movies, they're like, hey, did you know Jason's not the killer in his first one? It's like, yes, everyone knows that. It's more about watching it and experiencing it. Yeah.
Very different movie than what they become eventually in space.
Yeah. And it's funny, 2 is like almost, it retreads so much of 1, but it's so much more fun, in my opinion. And it was like a year later. So I was like, why is it such a throwback to the first one? But it's Jason, but I'm also enjoying myself more.
Well, Evil Dead did that.
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right. Evil Dead was even more confusing because it just seemed like a straight up reboot, but we're putting a number 2 on it. I've never understood that about Evil Dead. I much prefer 2 to 1. It's a lot more fun. But anyway, hope everyone's having a happy Halloween, and we hope to see many of you at BlizzCon. Thank you all for tuning in. See you in Anaheim. Good luck and have fun.
Take care.